One thing, I've been in the business since I got my license in 1998. I moved back home where I've sold now since 2000. 2000. I moved back to Lake of the Ozarks and started selling real estate there. And so in 2003, about 3 years into business, I got invited to be a state director, which means that basically for my local association, which means basically I'm on the local board of directors, and I participate and go to the state meetings. And typically they pay you to go to the state meetings too, or they give you reimbursement. So it's kind of a nice little deal. But it I really had no idea when I started doing it what it really was, what it meant, what the commitments were. I just said, of course, I was 3 years into business. At that time, I was like 35 years old, and I was like, sure, I'll do that. What the heck, sounds great. So I kind of went into it haphazardly. Well, fast forward, I ended up being the president of our local association, which is about 600 agents in 2007. And then I went on to be the president of the Missouri Association of Realtors with 20, we have 23,000 agents in Missouri that belong to the Missouri Association of Realtors. So I ended up being president of the state association. Now, that's insane. If you would have told me back in 2003 that I would end up being president of the state association, I would have said that's crazy. But, and I'm not saying everyone has to take it to that level. However, one thing that I've found in being, first of all, I like it. So if you don't like that kind of stuff and you don't like, being a part of a board of decision makers, a group of people that make some pretty important decisions for the realtors that are in your local association and in your area, and then even move it forward to the state. And I'm actually on the national association board of directors, and I'm a national, what they call a national director now. So, which is about 700 people that make most of the association's decisions for 1.3 million realtors. So there's a very small group of people that do a lot of the decision making. Now, we could argue all day long if you like their policies or you don't like their policies, or I have to belong because I want to be part of the MLS, and that's the reason why I'm a realtor. Otherwise I'd just be a licensee, because you can only be a realtor if you're part of the association, National Association of Realtors. So anyway, but what I found is that through that kind of service, and I feel like everyone should at least try to give back to the industry, and we all give back in certain ways, coaching or whatever it might be, different aspects of what we do. But to be a part of your local board and to be on a committee and do those types of things makes relationships with a group typically of outspoken people that have a lot of connections and like to help, and it's in their nature to want to be volunteers, you know. And so I find that the atmosphere of being a part of your local and state associations, or however far you take it, is opens up a lot of doors that you just normally wouldn't see. And then they're not all superstar agents, right, that give their time to volunteer. I mean, it's everything from the person who does you know 20 transactions a year to the ones that do a couple hundred transactions a year, or whatever the case may be. But they're it's a good group of people typically, right? It's a good group of and they're people that want to be helpful and want to help you spread the word about whatever you're doing and whatnot. So what I find is that through all the volunteerism I've done with associations, it's created a culture where I've also become, after you do it for a while, people kind of look to you like, oh, well, Ryan's on the board of this, or he's done that, or whatever the case may be. And whether it's true or not, they look at you kind of like, okay, well, I see him I see him get up and speak at these events, or he gets up and she gets up and does this, or whatever the case may be. And so you kind of get this creates kind of a sense of reputation. Thank you. Right word I was looking for. And that helps open the conversations with people. So it's just a different avenue. It's a different way to look at it. It's a way that I'm not saying that you want to get into volunteerism heavily, just for for the possible of opening doors to possible recruits, but it opens up certainly a field of people that you have exposure to, and that you can capitalize on. And we're working on conversations with a lot of people that I still get calls today from people asking me about EXP and what's going on. I can't believe the stock, and I can't believe that. I'm like, when are you coming on board? When are you gonna, what are you waiting for, right? So, because they know that I was involved with EXP, and they know because I spent, many cases 2 or 3 days with them in a hotel at a convention or whatever the case may be, being involved with what's going on in the industry. And a side note to all that, whenever you are involved at that level with these activities, you also have a really good knowledge base of what's going on in the industry, like what political issues are going on. Are they trying? We kept banks out of real estate, right? Banks don't sell real estate for a long time there. A lot of your big banks were wanting to open up real estate companies and basically cut us out of the deal. Of course, that was a huge deal. We pushed that back. There's all kinds. Every year there's so much legislation that comes out that is going to harm our industry or our ability to make money. And your local association, your state association, and your national association, whether you love them or hate them, they are there primarily because of political advocacy. And there's so many things that they make go away. I can do that. Although it's funny you say that, they sent out an email, and I don't know who gets it. I think everybody gets it. All the members get it. Maybe not, but the head legal counsel of NAR sent out an email about, hey, we own NAR. You own Central Lock, which has a showing service, and so they're kind of like, well, you know, you have one that realtors own, so this might be a good time to, but so.
Do people even use showing time? Like that's why I'm like,
We do in our area, our MLS.
they're upset and like
Yeah.
our area, and I was looking at this like group, our group, and the
Yeah.
MLS picks which one you use.
right,
Typically, yeah, yeah.
like literally in our MLS, we have if you have a listing, you put in the instructions how you would like showings to be scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel that showing time, Zillow buying showing time is going to affect you and your business in whatever way,
Yeah.
simply put in your instructions.
Yeah.
Call the seller's agent.
Yeah. I don't know if it is or isn't. It's just Zillow's continued grab, and I'm a Zillow agent. I buy Zillow ads, so I mean, unfortunately,
Well, then don't get out of Zillow.
I'm the bad guy, right? But they're just buying data. They're continuing just to basically dominate the universe, But anyway, so I mean, but there's a lot. I found personally, I would just tell everybody here um, to give an opportunity and at least take time to at least serve on one committee. Just take some time whenever it's time for you to ready. You may not be maybe too busy in your career right now or whatever the case may be, but try to take some time and serve on a committee at your local level and try it out and see what happens from there. But you'll find that as you network throughout that community, I've found it opens up a lot of relationships, not just from a recruiting standpoint, but also from referrals. I get referrals every week almost from agents that I know that I've met by participating in these. I mean, out of my area, and it's the state level, But and again, I took it a little bit far and ended up being president of the state. But it still was a lot. It was fun. So that's really all I had to say. Was just think about that. It is an avenue that a lot of people don't think about, especially when it comes to recruiting. It does give you a level of respect, I think, in a lot of cases from other agents because they're like, man, that's a lot of work they're doing. And clients, yeah, I have a lot. And being in the know, I mean, basically, when I go to these board meetings, I'm getting firsthand information on a lot of things that are coming down the line for the industry, and I use that when I talk to people.
So how does one, decide or
Get involved. Yeah, how do you get involved? I mean, how do you do it? Yeah, you basically just. I mean, I'm sure you're bored.
Because we're recording, there's a lot of
Oh,
back
oh, sorry. There's, y- you know, I bet you that yours probably they send out every year. They probably, I know in our area they send out a thing saying, hey, if you want to get involved, there's committee signups and stuff like that. And I'm sure you probably get it in your email. And you're, yeah, whatever, yeah, yeah, yeah. But or just call your local your board, your AE or whatever the CEO of your local board, and I'm sure you're probably in a large one. I'm sure it's probably pretty huge, or is it? Are you?
Portland.
Yeah, Portland's probably what? How many agents in Portland? Yeah.
I don't have the exact.
But I mean, still, you're a member. You can call and say, "Hey, I want to know when's the committee sign up. Put me on a. I want to be involved." And if they're doing what they should do, they should say, "Yeah." I mean, because usually they're starving. Most areas, most associations are lacking participation at in that level. So it's and you get to know some great people, and you get to know, and you really get the inside scoop with your CEO, and it's not bad to know the person who's running the association or the key players there, because you need something or you have a suggestion. It's all political. I mean, let's face it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all who you know, to a certain extent. So, I mean, I can pick up the phone and pretty much, if I had an issue with something, I can usually at this point pick up the phone and I get heard, right? I mean, I say, hey, I got a problem with this. If you look at this or whatever the case may be, and it doesn't suck, because I mean, it's nice to have that access. So you get all kinds of benefits from it, depending on how far you take it. So, and I think it can benefit recruiting too. So that's really all I got. Any questions? Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you guys discuss, so you're on a real high level, do you guys ever discuss the, I guess, the position that our agent's going to play in the future? Because with more technology that's coming out through Zillow, Redfin, and all these other companies,
Oh yeah.
isn't it kind of eventually one day the role of a real estate agent become obsolete?
That's a constant battle. Yeah, I
So what
mean,
do you guys? I mean, what do you address? What do you guys? Not that you could discuss everything.
well, no, I mean, that's always a challenge. It's a challenge as this technology improves and things change. I mean, trying to keep the realtor in the middle of the deal is always, and especially in the last 10 years, probably has been even more relevant. Um, you know, we tr- as we try to, the National Association tries to promote that realtor brand as much as we can. Everyone thinks everybody's a realtor. You're only a realtor if you belong to the National Association of Realtors. Otherwise, you're just a real estate licensee. A lot of people think that realtor's a realtor. Well, that's not the case. Realtors have to follow the code of ethics. There's all kinds of differences. A real estate licensee doesn't have, they just have license law issues they got to follow. They have no code of ethics necessarily that they have to follow. So, I mean, there are differences, and we try to establish that difference. But at the end of the day, the consumer is the consumer. They like to look at pretty pictures on Zillow, and if Zillow is going to sell them a house for less, they're going to pick it. Or they're going to, do an iBuyer or whatever the case may be. Um, and with the MLS lawsuits and things that are going on about transparency and all those types of things. I mean, the real estate industry is very close to changing dramatically by one court decision.
Yeah, because we've got strong lobbying power through the Realtor Association, but Open Door, Redfin, and Zillow, they've got
They got lobbyists too, but
exactly.
we have always I mean, we have 1,000,003 of people behind us.
Yeah.
So when you get a call for action, this is a total soapbox thing. I'm sorry if you don't mind, but
This is fine.
whenever you get a call to if you see a thing come through for a call to action for a legislative issue from the national or your state association, take 10 seconds and click the button, right? Because it floods the senators and the representatives and all that. And like it or not, we know that they gauge their decisions a lot by public sentiment. And if there's one group that really has a problem with it, they're going to hold off. They're going to back off. They're going to let us come to the table. So we're the largest trade association. The National Association of Realtors is the largest trade association in the world. The world. There's no other trade association that's larger than 1,000,003 members. So, and I would argue that probably your state association is also the largest trade association in your state. In Missouri, we are the largest. So we have a huge presence at the
So we
state
would fight the
capitol.
Civil War, if that's
Yeah,
what you're saying.
we could.
Let's show up,
We
let's
could.
march to Zillow headquarters.
We could. Yeah, we should.
Zillow's a realtor.
No, don't do that. You didn't videoing this. No, I don't want to get charged for incitement or whatever it is, or insurgency.
Really concern me. It's the crypto market that concerns me.
Yeah,
Once that actually starts playing a huge role in our
Yeah,
lives,
yeah.
that's when I'm concerned. Zillow doesn't concern me.
No, I mean,
You'll be fine. Buyers still need buyers agents. They don't understand the laws. They don't understand the contracts. So I'm not concerned about that.
Mhm.
Crypto though,
Yeah.
once that plays a role, we're done.
Yeah, no, and that's those are things that we don't even, quite frankly, there's issues out there that are so far that we don't even really know what we're tackling yet. But you're exactly right, and that's and so, we have strength in numbers. So, we have strength by being the size we are, and that does play a big difference. Now, are we going to stop? You know, everything? No, but you don't have you have no better resource than being a member of an association that does nothing but every day look out for the real estate agent. So you're a realtor. So I mean, it's going to be interesting, in my opinion, between the next 5 years. It's going to be a really, really probably a paradigm shift in a lot of ways too. and that's where EXP, I think, quite frankly, is poised so well because we don't have that. We're not that big, you know, 800-pound gorilla that we got to try to turn. You know, we're more nimble and more, and that's a huge pitch whenever if somebody is in the business and they go, you know, I'm thinking about real estate's just getting too crazy. I'm competing with iBuyers. I'm competing with this. I'm doing that. Well, first of all, we have an awesome iBuyer program. You know, express offers, which in this market, you know, I don't know. In our market, it doesn't work right now. It's such a strong seller's market. You don't need it. But when that turns around, that's going to be huge. And our program, quite frankly, when I was getting ready, I trained for it and I didn't use it really because literally, as I got my approval, like it changed overnight. The market was just like boom. In our area, it was a seller's market, so I didn't really need it. But whenever that changes and it goes back to a buyer's market, you better believe I'm gonna be like express offer, express offer, express offer all the time, you know, and I'm gonna make less money, but I'm gonna do more deals. So, you know, you got to have those tools in your toolbox because the market's going to shift. But uh, anyway, I mean, that's why. But the point is, as the industry changes, and I think it will, I don't know if it's going to be as drastic as some people think, but it will change, and you have no better position to be than with the EXP, because I guarantee you, when those brokers that have those big overheads and those big offices, and they have you know, they got all the bills they're getting every month for the advertisement. They have no idea why they signed up for it. They're like, "What is this?" You know, and those bills when you're making all kinds of money and everything, hey, that's just like, oh, no big deal. But whenever things change and you got all that, you got this 800-pound gorilla on your back, you're like, get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of that, you know, and then what's going to happen? The services they give their agents is going to go down too because they're stressed out. I was there. We were an independent broker. Yeah. So,
What
anyway.
are your thoughts about the transparency of buyers agents commission?
Oh, I know.
There's a lot of arguments about that. People are mad about that. I'm not understanding why.
Yeah, that's a lawsuit with
So
what do you call it? The Consumer Protection Bureau or whatever, the lawsuit with Justice Department.